Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another meet and greet. We are live from Tenerife, El Médano, from Duotone Pro Center. It has been an amazing week. The wind has returned, the temperatures has gone up, and well, we have everyday training. I've heard that we have already more than 300 races, 350. So everything is going smooth. Next to me, I have tonight, for the introduction, we have Pierre Mortefon. Next to him, Marco Lang. And we're gonna go live through Skype with Adam Lewis. We have Kai Hopf tonight, also in the broadcast. So there's plenty to see. And yeah, you can win again a Power XT. How? You have to answer a question. You will figure out later which one. So pay attention. And before we go further, let's catch up with the guys next to me. Pierre, can you tell me a little bit how your week has been?
Yeah, it was a busy one. Today was the first day off since few, and it was a good one because yeah, the last day were full of action. We did a lot of good races with all the boys. It was not easy to choose the right sail at the right moment, so I was a little bit fighting sometimes with the equipment. Yesterday we sailed like 7-7 using almost 30 knots, so it was a little bit good. So no, it was a great week, and I think the wind will be back soon.
Yeah, it will stay. You have Kalima now, so that always affects the wind a little bit, but enough for training.
Easy.
So it was a good week.
Yeah,
nice,
good
nice,
week.
Nice. Yeah, it's Marco's turn. Tell us about your week. How was it?
Yeah, I can feel
Was
it
not a
already.
good week?
As you said, we had the 300 races. Slowly, I feel it in my bones, muscles, but it's good to have some rest days as well to get prepared for the next training days. The level is pretty high. We have a pretty good level in the first group, even the second. We have even a girls group now, so it's really good to see so many competitors now on the racing course. And today is like a rest day. It's really good for me because on Monday I can focus a little bit more on office work. So
And on the meet and greet, of course.
yeah, and on the meet and greet.
Be fresh.
We try to be fresh. Rest day. That's good. And we're gonna have some rest days now, but there's already some wind in the forecast again, and we're gonna be prepared for the next training days.
Nice. Yeah, and still in town, quite some people. The water, there was a lot of people kite surfing, windsurfing. So here it's El Medano is still alive.
It's crazy when you talk to the people. I just had a friend on the phone on FaceTime this morning. He just sees the picture on Facebook and on the social media, and still cannot believe it that we have actually a pretty normal life.
Yeah.
We just have to wear the mask, but we can go on the water all day long, and afterwards we can have a beer together and go for a nice dinner. So I would call it pretty normal, and I think you just have to push everybody to come here and to enjoy this time on the water.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what was lately on the news was also that numbers are still going down. We went from level 2 now to level 1, which means that we are going good.
Yeah.
So still good to come and enjoy. Everybody should come and enjoy the nice conditions of Medano. All right. Then we have a busy program today, but we're gonna start with the Ludwig Questions Challenge. Well, what is it? We're gonna go through some questions that we prepared. You know some of them, but we of course added some that you don't know, just to keep it a little bit spontaneous. The idea is to answer the questions as fast as possible. That's why it's the Ludwig Questions Challenge.
So I hope it will be faster.
So I'm gonna repeat it so much because I love this game. The idea is to answer as fast as possible. And then the people at home, they can select a winner between you two. And the winner of you two wins not a Power XT, unfortunately. That's for the people at home. But you can win a bottle of cava. For Pierre, you can try some Spanish wine instead.
If I have to choose, I would prefer the Power XT.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Me too. If it was a French champagne, then Pierre probably would have had one. We're gonna start with a quick question round. Marco, you first. This is for you, so you don't hear the questions because they're supposed to be secret. People at home, listen to the answers and then announce the winner after this. All right, here we go. You hear something? Yeah? You hear some music? Oh,
He hears something.
the technology is letting me down. I got a new phone in 2 days and it will work properly. Don't worry. 1 second. The music.
No Dutch music, eh?
You hear something?
Pierre, you are slow.
Is the music playing?
I'm faster than Pierre.
Okay. Music is on. Pierre is not hearing anything. We go to the questions. Marco, are you ready? Born ready. Good. What was your favorite subject in school besides sport?
Ui, that's actually good. I would say German.
German. Blondes or brunettes?
Blonde.
Oh yeah, that's a safe one. What would you have become if not a professional windsurfer?
As everybody knows, I love to cook, so I would say
Cook.
yeah,
All right, good answer. Beer or wine?
beer.
Beer. Which was your favorite movie as a kid?
How's it called? King of Lion?
Lion King.
Lion King?
Lion King.
Yeah. It's already a few years ago, so.
Metal or house music? Oh, this takes too
Nothing of them.
You have to choose, Marco.
Okay, metal.
Good. If you had a time machine, where would you go first?
Mauritius. I would always
Time
switch between Mauritius and time machine.
Time machine.
Then I would go future. In the future.
In the future?
Yeah.
Where?
It's a good question. Let's take 40 years back.
40 years back? The past. You
Past, yeah.
choose the past.
Then I have a little bit of time to enjoy my life, go wave sailing, skiing. Always switch between skiing and wave sailing.
Good, good. What's your favorite position?
Up.
Up. What's the biggest wave you sailed?
Must high.
Must high. Okay, that's pretty sizey. That's good. Which song do you sing when you are alone in the car?
I'm from Austria.
What is your current weight?
You hear something?
Here's something.
Here.
We have a technical malfunction from the
95.
95. Okay, now the most difficult one. Name all the islands of the Canaries.
Tenerife. Gran Canaria. Fuerteventura. Lanzarote.
Yeah.
There's another one. La Gomera.
Now it works the music.
Okay.
La Gomera?
There are two more, huh? One more?
I'm not gonna give everything
No,
away.
sorry, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you, Marco. I put it on pause. It was working the last 20
I think
seconds.
you heard everything, huh?
No.
Every single word.
Yeah. Now it's noise cancelling, eh? It's a high-tech
Yeah.
phone. Did you hear anything? Nothing, eh? Okay. Marco, you
Every
can
second question was about you.
You will
put
see.
it up. Yeah. What do you hear it in your brain? Okay.
I heard nothing.
You hear us? No? Good. Pierre,
Wait.
are you ready? Okay. Quick and painless. What was your favorite subject in school besides sport?
History.
History. Blondes or brunettes?
Blonde.
Blonde. What would you have become if not a pro windsurfer?
Fisherman.
Fisherman. Beer or wine?
Wine.
Of course. Which was your favorite movie as a kid?
Tintin.
Yeah? Okay. Metal music or house music?
Hip hop.
Hip hop, right? That's not part of the. It's two. They have two options: metal or house.
House.
House. Okay. You did not like the music. If you had a time machine, where would you go first?
In the future.
All right. What's your favorite position?
In the front.
In the front. Okay. Good. What's the biggest wave you've sailed?
Half and a mast high.
Must have.
Not two.
No.
1.5.
1.5 mast. Good. Which song do you sing when you are alone in the car?
I don't know.
You don't know. You don't sing.
No, I'm just listening.
Just listening. Okay. What is your current weight?
92.
92. And then the $1,000,000 question. Name all the islands of the Canaries.
Tenerife, Fuerteventura, Gran Canaria, La Gomera, La Palma, Lanzarote, Hierro,
El Hierro, yeah.
El Hierro.
7. How many are there? 5 seconds left.
La Sosa,
No, almost. Okay. That was it. Marco, you can take off the headphone. Yeah. Help him with the headphone. It's done. We are through the Ludwig questions
So
challenge.
how many adults you had?
Almost all.
Okay.
How many we have in total?
8.
8.
Yeah, it's since a couple
I
of
thought
years.
the only one will be Tenerife.
Yeah, that's the most important one,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah. Now let's see who the people at home announce as the winner.
Hopefully they're not gonna vote for you.
No, I don't like champagne. No, it's okay, it's okay. No, but I didn't do this one. So, let's see who they will vote as the winner. Hopefully everybody enjoyed this little bit of insight in the guys. So, next on the planning is Kai Hopf. Of course, we all know him. He is the head sales designer for Duotone from the beginning. The guy is a legend, makes the best products you can imagine. It's time to listen to him, what he has to say. See you all in a bit.
I believe it's 82, maybe 81, but I'm pretty sure it's 82, beginning 82. Good to say that we actually achieved my personal goal through 2020 into 2021. My goal has been to be able to really work on a product continuously over a large stretch of time with the full team. And we've had basically uninterrupted R&D since March or Maui, with most of the team here at any given time. And I think that'll reflect in the new products, that they've been detailed and revised and to a much bigger degree than we normally have time for with competition schedule interruptions and stuff like that. So yeah, I think we're basically there, and hopefully we can figure out a way to continue this rather than go back to the sort of broken up R&D cycles. I don't think you can classify as if sound design is revolution. I think it's all evolution. It's an incremental gain. I believe with boards getting better, masks getting better, booms getting better, all the components of the rig have gotten better. And it's, on the example of a wave sail, it's allowing us a fuller, more powerful, softer product, which simply performs better. And that's, so it's evolution, not revolution. Much easier to build this out from scratch than to adapt a third-person graphic to an existing product. I don't really have a preference. I mean, it's really product specific. On a race sail, free ride sail, you can't beat monofilm. On a wave sail, it's consensus is X-Ply is a better material for a wave sail. Lots. I mean, the whole thing about sail design is to try things, and if 1 out of 10 works, that's great. You're constantly trying out there concepts, and some of them come to fruition, some don't. When it gets to ideas, if you're just doing the same thing all the time, you're not going to make any progress.
Hello, welcome back everybody. I hope you enjoyed the interview with Kai Hopf. As you know, you can win the Power XT Full Carbon again tonight. I hope you listened well to Kai, what he said, and that you please don't forget to put in the answer on the Duotone Windsurfing International Facebook page with the answer. Tomorrow it's going to be announced. More on that later. We're gonna continue with more questions. Don't forget, if you have questions for Adam Lewis or Marco Long, you can put them in the comments below. I have my device here and we will try to run through as many questions as possible, just to give you guys all the information you need to become a JAWS windsurfer or the head designer or R&D from Duotone. The
Not
first
everything.
question. No.
Not
all the secrets.
Not all the secrets.
Okay, good. All right. The first question. I think this one, let's start with you, Marco. What goes into the R&D process? How do you start with a sail that is already really good, such as the Warp or the Superhero? And what do you aim to improve? Is it lots of small tweaks or a big change, and see how it compares?
That's a good question. We always, if we're gonna take the Warp as example, we always take a look on the other brands as well, the main competitors, especially because the Warp is to win races, to win world champion titles. So we're gonna hope we're gonna win another title. So we're gonna see what the other brands are doing, in which conditions they're maybe better as us. So we're gonna compare the other product with our sales, and then we try to not copy, but we try to gain a little bit maybe in this kind of conditions to be ready for the next season. So sometimes we even buy other products to have like a reference.
Yeah, that's fine.
And this is like the first step on the R&D process.
Wow. All right, welcome in the studio. Adam, do you hear me? Yeah? Thanks for joining in. Did you hear the question?
I did, yes.
All right, do you have something to add to that, Adam? I mean, you are now on top of it, testing everything in Hawaii and being on the water a lot. Interesting to hear what you have to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think between Marco and obviously you heard Kai before, and definitely Kai's pretty meticulous in terms of how like he likes to proceed with the R&D. So we definitely, I would say you can end up we might try a couple of pretty different things, but also tuning kind of current designs and going through like slow tweaks. Maybe we're going to learn something on one size, and then, I don't know, for example, let's say a 4.7, you try something on a 4.7 and it works. And then maybe it's a case of seeing if those changes fit into other sizes. In general, I'd say it's a lot more, I think Kai said, it's a lot more about like evolving current designs than kind of just completely making something new. But we definitely, like, every now and again, there's some pretty like out there designs that we try. I mean, definitely, I feel like it ends up branching into two things, and you do a bit of both.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes it's important that we're gonna keep our line. That, for example, let's take not a superhero, that the superhero is not changing every year.
No.
Like to a different sail that, for example, not just for our riders, also for the customer who buys like every year a new product.
Yeah.
And suddenly the sail feels completely different compared to the previous year. So you have to keep the line, but we're always trying to make it better, should feel lighter, or it depends what we want to improve, but it always should feel like to stay in one line.
Yeah. Interesting. Then we have a question coming in from Rasmus Zaurins. His question is directed to Adam Lewis. Adam, how come that Mamba abolished the cut-off nose? Your prototype used in the World Cup sail 2019 still had it. Tail was pulled in like Mamba now. Okay,
good question. So I think we had a couple of those sort of, I had a definitely, and Victor too, kind of a pulled in tail, like you said, kind of pretty much the same as the mamba, and then kind of the square nose like the stubby. And then we actually then, after that, had a fresh batch of prototypes that had that slightly more sort of classic nose, and I think we all kind of basically preferred still having a short board, but also just a bit more classic nose. In terms of like coming round off top turns, I feel like having a little bit more pulled in nose, you don't get quite the same lift in the nose as you're turning around. So like I felt a bit of benefit like that, and then we kind of all preferred to move in that direction, and that's kind of what we've done. For now. And I know like Victor, for example, has some boards here at the moment, some prototypes that are working really well, and they're also a little bit more pulled in the nose.
Interesting. Thank you, Adam, for this good answer. Next question is also pointed to you. It's from Lou Mason. Adam, which is the hardest jump to learn and train for? The double forward, the stalled double forward, or push loop forward? And most important, where are you training in Maui for these?
Good question. I feel like, honestly, the thing that's taken me the longest by far is probably the double forward, because there's so many like really fine differences that make one good and one not, and like refining those, and also probably learning to spot those differences has taken quite a long time. I feel like weirdly in port tack it's taken longer because I kind of learned bad habits, and then for starboard tack I kind of already knew what I needed to do, and so I found it easier to learn like that. But I think there's so many different things that like where your body's positioned on the boom, and how far you get separated from the gear with the inertia of the spin. All of those things make a massive difference. So I don't know, for me that's taken for sure the longest. And as far as training them here, we have a couple of spots you need to drive with a 4x4 to get to. They're pretty far away, on the south side of the island. But there's some pretty like really windy port tack spots.
Yeah. Interesting. And stall double, push forward. Working on that.
Yeah. Definitely. Like personally, I think a stall doubles for me, in terms of how it looks, what it is in windsurfing, that's for sure the best jump, I think. So that's definitely something that I want to improve on. I've been doing some, but you've got to be ready for the impact. Definitely.
Yeah,
some slacks involved.
Oof. Yeah. It's impressive move. Oh, thank you, Adam. Thank you. Happy to hear you are practicing doubles and the stall double still. Respect. People love it. Last week as well with Mark and Victor. Everybody wants
still
to know
about the double.
Yeah.
We're still working on it.
Well, we are still working on it. I think I'm going to be working on it for the rest of my life.
I feel like there's like a couple of things that it's pretty obvious the guys that are good at them do, and I feel like no one really wants to say what they are.
No.
Because it's kind of something you have to learn the hard way. It's a funny one.
Interesting. They all keep it close to themselves. The double forward secrets, Marco. We have to wait longer.
Yeah, that's why I want to travel in the future.
Yeah.
To see if in 30 years I will be able to jump the double.
All right. Next question is for you, Marco. It's from Simon Moore. He asked Marco, who does the testing of the freeride sails Is it the wave or the slalom sailors? And what is the difference in weight of the sailors? That's quite an interesting one.
Actually, since 3 years or 4 years, we made like a big change on the freeride products. And I was the main tester together with Adam. So I would also say like we try to test all the product what we have in our range. Even I was testing last year the Superstar because I'm like more on the heavy side. Adam is like I would say average in the middle, but then we have Victor, which is a little bit lighter. So for example, Adam was even testing the freeride sails because we want to make a freeride sail which fits to every single person.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm also testing some wave sails, especially the bigger ones, the Superstar, which is not just for wave sailing, which is also like for bump and jump, free riding, especially here in Tenerife or Garda. And I think I'm like an average person with 95 kilos.
Average.
Well,
it's interesting because one question that I have here fits beautifully on this one. Is the process different in slalom and wave equipment or in freeride wave, or do you use the same?
The good thing is here that we're mainly testing here the slalom product here on Tenerife during the TWS training, because in the past we were always like testing together, two guys doing like 500-meter run and see who is the fastest.
Yeah.
But this is actually what we are not doing on the PWA.
No.
So we are actually doing some speed runs as well to see which sail is faster. But the most important is to do the testing in some real racing, especially here in Tenerife.
Yeah.
And then we can see how the sail is working when you have to fight with somebody others on the racing course, or the outcome of the jibe, how the acceleration is. So the main slalom developing happens here on Tenerife, and the wave developing mainly on Maui, because it has to work in the waves.
Yeah. That's a small difference. Cool. Next question is from Rasmus Zaurins. Here's another one for you, Adam. How do you use your harness? It seems you wear it loose and deep hanging on your hips. Why not design a harness especially for below belly button hook use?
Good question.
Yeah.
I like having my harness loose. Like I don't do, you have your Velcro strap. I definitely don't do that up as tight. But that's just because what I like to be able to do is I feel like whatever you do, if you do it like real tight, still you get washed by a wave, you fall in a jump, anything like that. It doesn't matter how tight you do it. If it's tight that you can't breathe, it still moves out.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, we've also tried like grippier materials and things like that. And I mean, that just ends up, if you're sailing in boardies or whatever, you end up actually rubbing, you damage the wetsuit. So I have it loose, and then basically I just kind of suck my belly in and then it falls down to my hips, and it'll just sit on my hips. So then like actually just sailing around, getting washed, it's super quick and easy just to like position it, and it just sits there. And in terms of like for sailing, I prefer having the hook a little bit lower. Just I feel like I can pin, really generate a lot of mast pressure through the harness lines, down through the boom, down the mast, and really like pin the board down and get some speed if I want to. So for me, like the harness we have at the moment, like I put that on loose, and that works honestly like perfect to be ridden. I would say that works perfectly to be ridden below the belly button, basically.
Which one do you use at the moment, Adam?
I've got the Duotone, the Ion Duotone collaboration one.
Yeah.
We have that harness since we were actually developing the harness for a few years, because we wanted to have like a harness, the team series, which works for every single rider in the team, even for the girls. Because, for example, Maria and I think Marin is also using the harness.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter if wave, slalom, or freestyle, everybody using the Duotone Team Series harness. And
It's
perfect.
a really good harness, yeah.
I mean, in slalom we are using it a little bit tighter as the wave guys because we want to have it tight that it's not moving.
Yeah.
Because if it start to move, we're gonna lose the stability a little bit. That's why it should be as tight as possible.
Yeah. Ah, interesting. So you wear it very tight, just so you have more control. Ah. And wave thing, you use it looser, so you have more movability. Nice, interesting. Well, thank you guys. Good inside information. A question from Dominique Kochel. It's a question about slalom, so it's I think to you. Maybe
For
Adam
Adam.
can also. He's got a lot of knowledge, but warp, fin, and previous year. If the lower leech above the clue is flapping / producing noise, what should I change with the settings? How do I stop its faster destruction as a result of that flapping? Glue a mini button onto it?
The lowest panel?
It is the lower leech above the clue is flapping and producing noise.
I would start to put a little bit more tension on the lowest button. But always the most important is don't put the tension on the button when the sail is rigged. Always put the tension when the sail is like de-rigged. Because then the tension is going from the beginning to the end. If you're gonna put the tension when the sail is rigged, for example, and you have like the cams on the mast already, then the tension is always like just going until where the cams are starting. So always important, the sail has to be flat, de-rigged, and then you can put the tension. But not too much, because if you're gonna put too much tension, you're gonna have like an S form. That's also too much then.
Yeah. So he needs to find a little bit better tension. All right. Is
gonna
it the
help.
same with the wave sails, Adam? How do you tension your sails?
I mean, we don't have cams, so I tension pick up. But I just learned, I actually never knew that about the cams. Luckily, I don't ever rig any of the warps, but
It's,
Don't worry, it will come.
if I get to try them, Marco normally kindly rigs them for me beforehand.
Wow.
The wave sails, we tune when they're rigged.
Yeah. There's no cams inside. No. And you have some tricks? How to tune your new superhero when you're sailing?
I mean, sorry to say something now, but if you have this new sail, normally you should not touch the bend pitch because they're all pre-tensioned.
Oh, that's true. That's what
So
you do.
we tension them all, get all the right tension, set the sail up perfectly. That tension goes to the factory. The factory tensions all of the sails, and perfectly, basically. So
Brilliant.
like
Wow,
Marco
that's even better.
your sail could come out of the packet perfectly tensioned. It normally it's normally almost a teeny bit over tensioned the first time you use it, but then from then on it's perfect.
All right, interesting. Oh. Thank you. Sander van Etten, can you guys give me some tips for sailing with the foil? Do you have some tips for Sander?
The main thing what I always tell anybody when they start to foil is like don't go like in the windsurfing position, like in the typical windsurfing position, like leaning backwards, pushing on the tail, because if you push too much on the tail, you're gonna make the typical rocket air. You're gonna be a little bit more unstable. So you have to move your body weight a little bit more to the center of the board to keep stable, and really at the first beginning, like you really have to start slowly. Don't push too much. Try that the fall comes automatically out of the water. Don't push too much on the tail, and you have to find the balance.
Yeah, it's different from sailing on the fin.
It's definitely different compared to windsurf, like normal fin sailing. Surfing.
Yeah, it's a different technique. Are you on the foil lately, Adam?
Yeah, we've been doing. I've been doing quite a lot of foil sail testing.
Nice.
So been on both our the foil styler and the Stingray.
Nice. And you guys are developing some new foils, right?
We are developing new foil sails.
Oh, new foil sails.
Yeah,
as well,
for next year.
Wow.
We're gonna come up with some updated foil sails.
It's growing. Eh?
I mean,
It's really
we're
growing.
always working. I feel like.
Yeah.
We want to have some foil sails because now we have like fin products, I would call it now,
Yeah.
for every single conditions.
Yeah.
And for next year or even earlier, we're gonna have some foil product for all kind of wind conditions.
Yeah, the foil sails are.
Foiling is growing, so you have keep.
No, yeah, we have some prototypes from you guys here. Also, some customers are allowed to use them in TWS. Eh?
It's always good if you, because I mean, we have a different level to our customers, and the customers are the most important
Yeah.
because they have to use. We are not just making product for ourselves; we're also making product for our customers. So that's why sometimes, even a few days ago, I gave a customer like the new S-Base prototype just to get a little bit different feeling. Maybe
Yeah.
he has a different feeling to my one, and we did the same with the F-Base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some hanging there in TWS.
And I think it's
Nice,
also
yeah.
exciting for them when you just talk to them, keep telling them some feedbacks, and for them it's
Yeah.
be part of the R&D Duotone.
It's a win-win situation. Eh? You get maybe some new information also from
Exactly.
from
Oh, it's
customers
important.
and people get the chance to try some new sales. Eh?
Yeah.
Interesting. Another question from Rasmus Aurits. What do you think about ovalized boom diameters? I think if done right, it helps easy gripping and makes the boom even more rigid, like X-Booms does that. How do you think about that?
It's definitely like the future, I would say, with the oval, especially not just for slalom booms. I mean, for wave, I think we don't need them right now because we have the Mega Slim boom,
Yeah.
which is already kind of oval, or you will not feel any difference anymore. Which I think we have the Mega Slim boom since 2 years now, and it's such a big step forward. You don't want to go backwards anymore. If you're gonna use once the Mega Slim boom, you don't want to use something else anymore, like the older version or something. It's incredible. Especially I use it now at home a little bit in the winter
Yeah.
when you have the gloves.
Yeah.
It's so nice. You have so much more power in the hand. You can sail even longer. It's incredible. The boom diameter is definitely something really important.
Yeah, that's since they came also with
It's
the super
changed a
slim
lot.
boom. Yeah, it's way easier.
Yeah.
To hold. I forgot a question from Sander. Oh no, from Peter. Sorry, Peter van der Zande wants to know if you can learn foiling with a race foil.
I also started with the Fanatic one. I think it's good that you start with a free ride aluminium foil because it's like slower as a racing foil, because the racing foil, it just comes immediately up and it just keeps going and it has an acceleration. If the wind is picking up, the foil is becoming faster.
Yeah,
And with the freeride foil, it keeps like everything a bit slower, like the outcome of the water is a bit slower. So I would always recommend to start with a freeride foil, and then the next step will be like the race foil.
Like you don't start on the
Yeah.
Falcon, you don't learn how to
I
windsurf
would-
on the Falcon. Yeah.
On a record.
Actually, I never saw Adam on the race foil.
You haven't tried it yet, Adam?
I have, yeah. I've been
Oh.
on one twice. Never again.
Never again. Why not? What was your experience? I mean, you're a super good sailor. Is it difficult or?
It's like compared to the foils I normally use, it's really fast, really like a lot of power and like an impressive amount of finesse and balancing. And I have to say, when I jumped on like the race foils afterwards, I had a lot more respect for the boys racing on those foils, because they're beasts.
Yeah, and imagine with 10 guys at once going towards the first mark, all on.
It's scary.
It's
scary sometimes. It's maybe not
Well, scary.
so scary like riding Jaws, but it's scary.
It's
Jaws is a different story.
It's a very different story,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I think some people might prefer to sail jaws than to go with 10 guys in a row towards the first mark, all with a razor sharp foil underneath their board. Yeah, we've seen some nice crashes here. Oh man,
It's part of the game.
it's part of the game. Yeah, it makes it.
If you want
fun.
to be
The
champion,
adrenaline,
you have
yeah.
to push.
Yeah.
You have to push them more than 100% if you want to win.
Yeah. But is it more scary on the foil to go towards the first mark than with the fin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because the chance is bigger that you do a catapult on the foil as on the fin. So, and if you do a catapult, you're last. So you have to find your own balance a little bit between the edge, speed, so that you don't do a catapult.
No.
Because
No.
if you're gonna end up on a catapult, you're gonna be last. So
Yeah, and it's dangerous. No, but what I've seen from you guys is it's also a lot more intense because you have to focus constantly. There's no room for mistakes. It's the concentration needs to be so high that after half of the time you were just as tired as a full
you
day.
have to focus on the other guys. You have to focus on the waves.
Yeah, yeah.
Because sometimes, especially here, it can be there is some swell sometimes, and if you go cross the swell, the wave, and suddenly the wave is going down, oh, then the foil suddenly is out of the water. So if once the foil is
The
out of
recipe
the
for
water,
disaster.
you know what's gonna happen. So you have to be 100% focused.
Yeah. Interesting. Good, let's go on with more questions. They are coming in. Patrick Heisman, he asks, it seems that most of you prefer the hip harnesses like the Duotone one. In the past days, I think many riders who want to ride fast preferred the seat harness. Why did this change? What is the benefit of a whip harness? I think a hip harness.
I mean, I came from freestyle.
Yeah.
I always had like the whip harness, so that's why I kept using that harness. But I think in the past, like for example Antoine and a few other guys, especially in Fuerte, when the wind is stronger, it's maybe better because you have more control because you're actually sitting a little bit. You're lower. You can pull like the boom a little bit lower, or you're gonna get a little bit more pressure on the board. Gonna offer you a little bit more control. But I never tried a seat harness actually. But what I heard is actually with the waist harness you're gonna be quicker after the jibe, especially with acceleration hooking in.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the trends is going into waist harness because everybody, especially because in the jibes you're gonna win races.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody goes there.
Have you ever used a sitting harness, Adam?
Yeah, I learned. I think my first harness was a seat harness.
Oh yeah.
He's still riding Joseph with the seat harness because he wants to keep the control.
Yeah, no, I started like doing race boards when I was like younger, 14, 15. So I learned with a seat harness, but I definitely prefer the freedom and the maneuverability of a waist harness. That's for sure.
And it looks better, in my opinion.
For the boys, it's not so comfortable to have these belts between your legs.
Yeah. Yeah. For windsurfing, I agree. It's good to have the whip harness. There's also a question from somebody this morning on the beach. He heard about the meet and greet. When you're designing a sail, do you design it for top-end performance or more for the recreational customer, especially wave sails? So, this was a question from one of the friends on the beach, from you, Mark, I think. Let's start with you, Adam. Do you design it more for the top-end performance or more with recreational customers in mind?
I don't think they're like exclusive things. I think they're a little together. I think I would say honestly, like how the sails are designed encompasses probably a balance between performance, like obviously the hero that has to work for Victor to win a world title, like world titles on
Exactly.
a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But it also has to be able to be like mass produced in the factory so that each sail is the same as the sail that we tested and developed. And then it has to be, it absolutely has to work for the end customer too. So I'd say like they're probably the three key things that we develop, especially the wave sails around, if not all of the sails. I think that in the end, you're looking for probably similar things. I mean, maybe if Victor was just going to design a sail exactly for him and him alone, you'd end up maybe at a certain feeling. But I'm pretty sure, like between testing Victor, Mark, Klaas, Marco, everyone, Arthur, that it doesn't end up being quite as personalized, but you end up having like really good wind range, really light feeling, really stable on the wave, and they're all that are going to work in the end, that are going to be like absolutely key for the end user too. So maybe if you were going to do like one sailor designing a sail exactly for them and just for what they want, you'd end up with something slightly different. But I feel like through that development process and through thinking of those three kind of key things, you end up with a sail that has all the performance, but is good for a customer, and obviously it needs to be that every sail comes out the same as the sail that we've developed. So you can't take all of those things into account too.
He's good at it.
Yeah, and it's the same with the slalom sail.
Yeah.
It's like, for sure, we want to win world champion titles, as we did. But my goal was always, when we were developing the warped, that the sail has to be as easy as possible. Because if it's easy, if it's comfortable, if it's stable, you can go fast.
Yeah.
And that's why the warp has to be easy. Then it's also good for the customers. And
yeah, of course. Yeah, a good sail is a good.
We're
sail.
not just making sails for our riders to show a great performance on the water. We also want to make like the customers happy, to see the customers here on the water, to enjoy their time on the water, and to make it as easy as possible for them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Good. What are we? Yes, Rob van Dijk. It has a question. That actually fits in line with the question we just answered. What is the most all-round weekend warrior sail for slalom and foiling? The best all-round.
All weekend warrior.
It's probably a guy that goes mostly in the weekends, wants to have one sail for his fin, for his foil, not too complicated. What would you?
Then
recommend?
I would definitely choose the S-Pace.
S-Pace.
Because if we're gonna have, let's say I'm gonna have like one S-Pace, the 7.3, I'm gonna have one board, the Jack, and I'm gonna have the Stingray. So one sail, two boards. So I can go, if it's light, I can go foiling, reducing the downhill. Then the draft is moving forward, tight leech. It's pretty stable. Then if the wind is gonna pick up, if I'm gonna go for some GPS runs, I'm gonna take the Jack. I'm gonna put the more downhole, like 3-4 clicks more if I have the Power XT.
No, of course.
Don't forget, you can win one.
Yeah.
And you can do that with one sail. You just need two boards. And but even we have some boards in the range with Fanatic. For example, the Blast is also foilable. So, but I also always prefer the Jack, because the Jack is really close to the Falcon. You're really able to go fast for some GPS rankings. So I would say the S-Pace is definitely a good, how you call it, warrior weekend.
The weekend warrior.
Weekend
one
warrior
option
sail.
Yeah.
It would be my
That's good.
first choice, the S-Pace.
The S-Pace is your first choice. So, and you, Adam, you agree?
I completely agree with Marco.
Nice.
Easy.
Easy.
The warrior.
Good. Next question is coming in. It's going so fast that the technology here is clogging up. The next question from Rasmus Zourens. Adam, how do you set up your stuff for typical sailed conditions, like side on, onshore, very strong current, wind shadow, dumpy shore break? What's the top tip to rig your gear for those kind of difficult conditions?
I'm just trying to think what I do. I would say for silt in particular, I would normally definitely take a thruster. So previous years I've used the stubby. I would use a Mamba now. And in that situation, if it's like bolt onshore, and the majority of the time I'm not really going to be like carving on a face, but more like connecting off kind of that punchy whitewash. I would also take like, I'd maybe go to a slightly, so normally like I'd use 17 or 18 as a thruster rear, and then maybe I'd consider going to like a 19 centimeter rear, just for that kind of upwind grunt. And then I notice that I definitely don't like maybe take off a little bit of downhaul, but not too much outhaul, because once you like balloon the sail out too much, you're actually kind of affecting your upwind performance. So I would say like I don't let loads of outhaul off, like to have it completely sort of like hanging around, but I let maybe a click of downhaul off. I notice like if the wind's really side offshore, I tend to have like maybe a click of downhaul more.
All right. It's interesting what you say with the outhaul. Too little, you affect the upwind ability of your sail?
The sail just kind of balloons, and you're actually affecting your ability to go into the wind, because you're getting too much profile, too much sort of.
Exactly. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
And which sail you would choose, the Superstar or the Superhero?
Oh, I'd take the Superstar for sure. In terms of like, and response to gusts and things like that, I would take the Superstar.
Interesting.
Good to know.
Yeah, that's good to know.
After all the live streams, I think I will be ready for the wave competition now.
I have to pull it out more out of the wreck, the Superstar. Yeah. I'm missing out. I'm just going on the Superhero. Oh, a Superhero. Yeah.
You should give it a try.
Good. Yeah. No, I tried it. I really like it. But yeah, once you're used to something, you stick to it.
Exactly, because that's actually the problem. If you're really like used to the Superhero for so many years, and you just jump on the Superstar for like just one session, it's hard, because as you said, you need to get used to it, and you need to give it the time, the Superstar.
Next time I will take it out.
Yeah.
With the customer,
I feel like
96 or 94 liters.
In those smaller sizes, we've been testing the new Heroes right now, and like in the small sizes, I've been really enjoying the Superheroes, just because we've had actually some really strong wind, and the control you get out of the Superhero, I think, is like unreal. I've been like, we've been testing the 3.7 and the 4.2, and they've been amazing. The control those sails have is incredible.
Interesting. Cool. Let me see. Wow, so many questions. Did you sailed with
wave?
Yeah, wave or
no?
You won your competition then?
I won my competition sailed. But it was wavy too.
So you rigged your gear good?
I rigged it good. For sure, you have to change for the swell. You have to use a little bit of different downhole. Not too much downhole, but also too less downhole. Because if you have too less downhole, then you get a little bit more pressure on the board.
Yeah.
But actually for the waves, you need a little bit lift. So you always have to find a little bit your balance. Suit especially. Doesn't matter if for slalom, wave, freestyle,
special event. Do you use
event.
a little bit more volume there because of the current and the difficult conditions?
I heard about you have like, maybe I'm wrong, Adam, around 1 or 2 knots current. So that's already quite a lot. Sorry?
There's miles more current.
Okay, miles more current. I was wrong. No, Sylt is definitely special, but it's a great event to have it. Hopefully we're going to see some action in Sylt this year. And then finally Adam will come back to Europe. To the cold. To the cold.
One day, no. I think he's fine there where he is. Good. Let's continue. The harness is quite popular tonight. People want to know. Dominic Kochel asked which harness model do the slalom guys use? All the same?
We're all using the same. As I said before, doesn't matter. Because that's always good. If I forget the harness, I can use an Adam's harness or a Victor's harness, because we're all using the same harness. Okay, I'm using like L,
Yeah.
Victor M, but still it's the same model. You can buy it in the shop. It's not any custom model.
No.
So everybody can use it. It's the Duotone Team Series.
It's good.
harness.
It's really good. Then a question about the Power XT. Quite interesting. What's the reason that there is no carbon SDM Power XT? Yeah, and what do you think about knower stick extension concept, where the sail pulleys are always as low as possible? There's a lot of development going on.
So first of all, I think for the SDM, it's not necessary to have the carbon version. First of all, you want to have it. I think the carbon will be too soft, and you want to have like a stiff extension in the bottom, because if it's gonna be too soft the extension, it's gonna create like more, or the power is gonna move to it backwards, because the mast is gonna bend more.
Yeah.
And we want to keep like the stiffness of the mast in the front. So that's why I would say we would just use the aluminium.
It doesn't give you any benefits, basically, changing to carbon.
And I would say I will not feel any difference weight-wise if I'm gonna have a carbon extension or aluminium, because the aluminium Power XT is, I would say, the same weight like few other aluminium extensions, and even we have the retro lever and everything and all the features. So I don't think so that we need like a carbon version.
With the SDM, no, I agree actually, yeah. With the ADM, it makes sense. It's a little bit of extra weight, doesn't affect too much the sail.
I would call it, sorry for the word, but I would call the carbon version really like a sexy product. It's really, it's incredible, the look of the Power XT.
And it got even better in comparison to the last edition. Yeah.
Because now actually what we did now, we changed the diameter, so it's thinner like as the mast. So if you're gonna keep the extension for a while in the mast, something even in the salty water, it will not be stuck in the mast.
No.
And that's a good thing. And it's
and it doesn't go and damage the carbon.
Nothing.
Yeah,
It's
product
great.
is brilliant. Do you use the Power XT as well, Adam?
Yeah.
You have to. Yeah. Once you used it.
Ever since I joined, I used that Power XT, and there was no going back. I had to rig a sail without one the other day, and it was a traumatic experience.
Your hands hurting.
That's a good thing with the Power XT. Actually, we can keep our riders in the team. Nobody wants to leave the Duotone team, because if they're gonna leave once the team, there will be no Power XT. Okay, you still can buy a Power XT in the shop, but that's how we're gonna keep our riders in the team.
Yeah. It's a good product. I even bought one this week. I couldn't stand it anymore. Every week you guys are giving
The
it
problem
away.
is you're like our host, but if you're gonna watch the live stream, you can win a Power XT.
Yeah. I knew the answers every week. Yeah. I decided to buy one. Fair enough. That is not for me. Good. Next question. Matt M. Rotka-Lehnert. 2 questions for you guys. That's smart, just to put 2 questions into one comment, that's good. Do you prefer longer or shorter harness lines? Let's do it like the Ludwig's questions challenge. Longer or shorter?
Longer.
Longer. Adam? Longer. What length do you use?
33.
33.
But it's just a question of for you, because I wasn't not sure now. Do you use different harness line lengths for every single sail size, or it's like one harness length for all sizes?
That's a very good question, Marco.
Yeah, I really didn't know. Huh?
So, I used to use 34s for when it was windy, and then if it wasn't so windy, I'd use 32s, like for when it was like lighter wind. Just because like the 34s were like really far away and I couldn't quite pin the board down. And I was losing a little bit of like early planing just in like really underpowered. But now I just use 33 the whole time.
Because we in slalom, we actually use like in the lighter winds, we start mostly 28 and then extend up to 34, 36 if it's really like strong.
And you guys always use the adjustable?
No.
No? Oh, you have the fixed?
I think I'm the only guy in the PWA tour who is using fixed lines. I'm literally the only one.
Always stressing in between these. Which lanes I do use now? I wind picked up.
Oh, but all riders in the PWA tour have like one boom for every seal size. It's the same with the wave guys. That's why I was asking Adam right now, because I really didn't know if they're gonna use the same length.
Yeah, it's
But you want to be prepared for every single race, so you have one boom for every seal size.
Yeah, interesting. Then he has a second question. It's related to a previously mentioned time machine. Did you ever try the warp sail predecessor like IQ or Prisma? And what were your thoughts riding it?
Actually, I heard about the Prisma. It's like back in the days.
Oh, yeah.
My grandfather, who actually teach me windsurfing, he had the Prisma. I think it was like with 4 cams or even more cams. But yeah, I never had a chance to try the sail. And I also still remember the IQ. I think it was before the warp. But yeah, maybe if somebody gives me a chance to try it, maybe I'm gonna have a ride on it. Maybe I will find something good at the sail. We're gonna put it into the warp developing.
That's cool. There's one sail I saw on Cabezo last week, or last days. It was an old Superstar. And I almost pulled the guy out to ask if I could try it. We should find the guy.
Yeah, it's actually good to see the difference or to feel the difference.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. So yeah. Hope that answer was satisfying for you, Matt. We go on to the next question from Bull Roarer Took. What sail do you recommend for foil swell riding and why? Foil swell riding and why?
Foil swell.
Swell, yeah.
Foil
Riding
swell.
the swell on the foil with a windsurfing set, I think. We're talking about windsurfing.
Especially for the swell, I would use then F-pace.
The F-pace.
I would not use like a cam sail. I would choose like a light, good handling, small.
Yeah.
Like you can go really small. I still remember Adam last year here. Adam was on the 8.4 warp and the 140, and I was on the 4.6 F-pace, and I was going even earlier as Adam on my slalom equipment. So
Yeah.
I would choose like a small F-pace
Yeah. All right. Interesting.
for the swell rider.
I completely agree with Marco. Like that 4.6 is unreal.
That's nice. Yeah. We saw you flying. We miss you here in the Tenerife. And every week, see now for the second time, man, flying around on the Stingray with the white sail, trying some kite surfing in the bay.
I still remember him with the helmet.
With the helmet, we have the photos. The technical department, can we show the photo? It's too much time. We don't have enough time. Okay.
So tomorrow we're gonna publish the picture with Adam
It was good.
with his kite surfing career.
Without any jokes, he was going up with making jumps within 2 hours. So it's annoying. The guys have. All right, we go to the next question. The tablet is not helping me tonight. I have thank God my phone. Let me see. I'm sorry. Next question is from Brandon. How many prototype slalom sails do you build every year?
It always depends a little bit. Sometimes we have like, I would say, one lucky shot, I would call it. We had like last year, Kai made one prototype, a 9.0 here on the island. We took it on the water and it was like perfect. So this is like as I said, a lucky shot. It's like the best way because then we don't waste too much time and we can focus on some other products. But normally I would say average is like 2 to 3 sails, because sometimes if we have already one prototype we are close to a final sail, we can do some recuts on the sail. So especially here it was pretty good. We did some races, then I went just back quick to the loft. Kai made some recuts on the sail. went back on the racing course, and then I could feel immediately the difference. And this is how you work on the prototypes, and this is how the R&D process of the work is.
Yeah. Adam, how many prototype wave sails do you get in your hands every year?
Kind of like Marco said, it depends a little bit on the sail. For example, like I said, we've just been testing the small sizes. The 3.7 came out basically like insane. If I think about like some other sizes that we've been working on, like in the last 12 months, I've had like maybe 5 of another size that it took to get like something, and that's including probably like in those 5 sails, probably doing 3 to 4 recuts per size per sail. So sometimes is like a lot, can be a lot, I think, and sometimes is, so in a year I don't know, a lot. I probably shouldn't admit that. I think we've overgone the limit of that size.
There's always a limit.
There is a limit, yeah.
And then in the end, you always have like, when you have like a sail with all the recards, you still have to make like a copy. You have to make like a final confirmation sail where you're gonna check everything if the sail is still, if it's ready for production.
Yeah,
so we still have to get and try it on the water, and then we can confirm it.
It's pretty cool, eh? Because a lot of work goes into it. That's one thing, that's for sure.
We want to make the customers happy.
No,
We want to make you happy.
I'm happy, eh?
Ah, that's good.
I'm happy. Good. Is Duotone ever going to start a fin line? Richard Epping is asking.
A fin line?
A fin line? Are you going to make fins?
No,
No, that's clear.
it's clear.
You leave that to the
No,
other.
we're gonna keep our focus on sales,
Yeah.
and because my feeling, if you're gonna do it too much, you're gonna lose a little bit focus and the qualities on the product. That's why our main focus is on the sale products, because we have a lot of products. We have the mast, we have the booms, extensions. So that's why I would prefer. It's not my decision, but I would prefer to focus on the things what we have.
You guys are using now, they are perfect. Yeah. Don't change a winning recipe.
Yeah.
Good. There is still a lot of questions coming in. I have to check with the technical department if we have some time left. Are we going to continue? Of course, yeah. As long as there's questions coming in. Adam, you are still there? You're still doing good?
I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Simon Moore asked, iron does different stiffness in the radium harnesses. What are the advantages or disadvantages, and what stiffness is the team harness?
I would say with the team series, a bit softer to the iron harness. I don't know it's actually which product, but I tried few iron harnesses, and the problem was always for me, if they're too stiff, then I just have few pressure points. I don't feel the whole harness on my back, and that's why we went a little bit softer on the team series, on the Duotone team series iron, because I want to feel like the whole harness.
Okay, interesting.
On the back.
Yeah.
Because if I just feel some pressure points, then I'm gonna have some back pain afterwards. And that's why we made the decision that we go a bit softer, and I think the whole team was really happy about the decisions, and that's why.
Cool. You, Adam, what do you use? The more stiffer or more flexible harness?
I use the team, the softer one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Almost for exactly the same reason that Marco's just said. I like a softer one that just kind of spreads the load kind of throughout the harness into my back, rather than a stiffer one. I don't really like having I think it's a personal feel. Yeah. But as like the stiffer one was really direct, and I mean, it's like I said, it's a personal thing. But for me, the direct harness wasn't something that I didn't really feel that like nice to me.
Oh, it's interesting. A lot of people think that the stiffer harnesses give more support, but it's actually not true.
Yeah.
It's more you have more direct feel
Yeah.
instead of support. And
But
the
as
softer
Adam
ones,
already said, you want to have the load over your whole body, like.
yeah. No, I use the stiff one, the radium, the carbon one,
Yeah.
and it has a lot of padding in the back, so it's still very comfortable. But yeah, I sometimes grab the ones from the center and experiment a little bit. I can agree. Yeah.
But Ion is offering like a lot of different products, so I think, there's something for every single customer.
Yeah, of course.
It sounds like the people are really interested in our harnesses.
Yeah, as soon as you start talking about it, yeah. Of
We're
course.
not just doing the harness.
Maybe we can do a giveaway team harness in the future.
Maybe
the
we're
product.
gonna think about next Monday. We're gonna offer
Think
a
about
team
it.
series.
Maybe the people can choose if they rather have a Power XT or a harness.
Or a team series
Let's
harness.
see, yeah. No, but very interesting. I also didn't really know that. I thought stiffer more.
I'm
support.
gonna offer you my one to try.
Thank you. That was my entire goal of starting this. This is actually my question. No, we're gonna continue with the next one from Matt M. Rotka-Lehnert. Speaking about technology, have you ever heard about accelerator racing sail, known as the most expensive development-wise, designed by Kai Hopf? Have you heard about it?
What? Can you repeat the question?
It's difficult, this one. Speaking about technology, have you ever heard about accelerator racing sails, known as the most expensive development-wise, designed by Kai Hopf?
Phew. I never
Is it
heard
from now or is it from the past? Is it?
I never heard about it. Maybe Adam, you heard about it?
I'm just Googling it now.
Why are you googling? Live, Adam.
I don't have my phone.
It looks like a 2002 brochure I found.
Wow, so it is.
Okay,
from the
luckily
past. The blast to
2002
the
I
past.
was still somewhere else.
All right, it's not a shame. Okay, but I'm sorry, Matt.
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was. Looks to be like one of the first kind of membrane cells.
Really?
Yeah, 1995.
Ooh. Wow, it's not a shame we didn't know then. Eh? Good.
Seamless structure.
Wow.
But I'm gonna ask Kai
So
tonight.
that says something about Kai. Eh? He was already on top of it 20 years ago.
So I will ask him about that.
Interesting. Well, Matt, I'm sorry we don't have a very clear answer for you, but you put some. You gave.
So if I would have the time machine, I would go back.
To 1995, check the sale, come back, explain us everything. Yeah, it's unfortunately not yet possible. Jesse Struik asks, Marco, what makes the platinum carbon boom so expensive? And what's needed to make the performance booms more affordable?
I would say it's the carbon, and it's like the whole developing process. It's not just we're also testing like the outline. It takes quite a while to. It's not just one prototype. We made like a lot of prototypes. It's the stiffness. It's like I would say there's the same amount of developing time going into the boom as into a sail, and the amount of carbon what we have in the carbon boom I think makes or creates like the price.
Yeah.
And it's a great product what we have because you can see it here on the racing course. I would say 80% of all the riders, even non-duotone riders, are using the platinum boom, the racing boom, because the racing boom fits like for every product, like not just the warp, also for a Pride Seal, Gastra, for every single brand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, interesting. And wave booms, Adam? You use the Super Slimmy? The
I
Super
use
Slimmy?
the super. Yeah.
You never go back.
Yeah. I think, like Marco said, it's the whole boom for Duotone is designed by us. We're not outsourcing kind of a generic head or clips or tail end. So all of that design and development is what makes those booms, in my opinion, the best in the world.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that obviously has a price, and also the sheer material cost. You know,
Yeah.
it's not just any carbon; it's kind of very high grade carbon that's going in, and just that whole process is why they're so good. It comes that far.
Yeah.
As Adam said, the little features I think makes the boom so special.
Yeah.
Especially on the racing boom, we have the eye-tail fitting. It's like a little roll. The good thing is you don't have to open any knots.
No.
You just have like a loop system, which makes it easy for me because I think I'm not able to open all the time the knot because I don't know any knot to make. So I'm not coming from the sailing. So I think that's why, or the eye front is the lightest eye front on the windsurfing industry, and the eye tail fitting. So like all these little features makes the boom so special.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's full carbon boom. I mean, I don't know a cheap full carbon boom on the market. It's if you want to get your hands on a full carbon boom.
It's not just light; it has to be as well stiff.
Yeah. No, but you see them a lot, the platinum, especially in slalom. Yeah, and it's a unique design.
I'm pushing it.
Yeah. Cool. Alrighty, we go into the next question from Rasmus Zaurins. It's always tricky when we go into sail development. Watch out! In kitesurfing, big steps are made with new materials like the SLS from Duotone or this Alula Ocean Rodeo stuff. Don't know it. Some years ago you had some North sails totally laminated, not normal laminates like Severn. Well, in the sail development we have already the membrane, I mean. Yeah. Can we tell a little bit more?
It's always good to have like Duotone, or to work. We are working really close with Duotone kiteboarding. They came up now with the SLS with different materials, so we are working really close with them together. We're also trying few different things to learn about new material, to feel difference on the water, and we have the membrane. And maybe Adam, you want to say a little bit the difference between a membrane sail or like the normal superhero, to give the people a better understanding about the.
Sure. So, I mean, in terms of like a comparison of the membrane to a hero, I would say, sort of as you've touched on it, it's the material. Even if the sail like design is fairly similar, the material use and how that material stretches, how it warps on load, and things like that affect quite a lot how the sail performs. So in terms of the membrane that we have now is really light. It's a really light sail. The way it's made with the strings, those strings are then laminated, and so that laminate has a little bit of kind of give in it. So the sail actually is a little softer than a normal construction sail, because basically what happens is the laminate gives a tiny bit, and then you hit the rigidity of the string. So it's really light. It's a little bit softer than a normal sail, but actually within that sort of softness, you have a nice response and things like that. So it just depends on feeling and what you want to do. Like Marco said, and also like that question, we work a lot with Duotone kiteboarding. We're working on different materials, I'd say, the whole time. Like we said, we had completely laminated sails previously. Maybe, in the future we'll look at more. I'd say like right now in the loft, I'm not going to say anything else, but we have a lot of different materials that we're testing.
Interesting. All right. Next question. We have plenty of questions. We keep on going.
For Adam, it's easier. Adam is morning. For us, it's night.
It's true, yeah. He's still
Just
fresh.
pumping.
He looks ready to go.
Oh, the waves are
all
pumping.
day. Yeah? Oh, then we're going to continue a little bit longer, Adam. So, the next question is from Pieter van der Zande. Why don't you guys use the platinum aero booms?
Yeah, the platinum aero boom, there is a difference. It's the same shape, outline, everything the same. The weight difference is insane. Like it's really much lighter. But I'm using the platinum boom because the aero version is a bit softer. So, and on the slalom, you want to have like, because for example, if the gust is gonna hit you, first the boom is gonna stretch a little bit. I mean, not much.
No.
There's still a carbon, but you're gonna feel a little bit. So you're not gonna have like a quick acceleration as with the platinum boom. That's why we are deciding to use mainly, or the whole team is mainly using the platinum boom. But for foiling, I'm still testing. For foiling, I might use the aero boom, because for foiling it's a bit different. You want to have like a little bit more softer feeling.
Yeah.
And that's why maybe the whole team will choose the aero boom.
For the foiling, yeah, it's also less.
Yeah, but it's
powerful.
incredible how light the aero is. Like,
Yeah.
it's insane.
Cool. And you, Adam? You use the arrow?
I use the platinum.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Marco said, actually, I didn't think about that. But for foiling, the aero would be amazing. For the same reason Marco said, I quite like having that stiff response out of the boom, and the normal platinum gives a really stiff response.
Yeah. Interesting. When will the F-Pace be available from Bull Roarer Took?
Soon.
Soon.
Spring.
Spring. Good. In spring. That's
Soon.
fast.
I can't wait
No.
for the swell riding.
Yeah, the swell riding on the F-Pace. Matt M. Rodka-Leonard asked, what key points do you have when you do you want to achieve in must design development? Durability, weight loss, what's the
Durability is like the most important, but we always try, or that's what we gotta do. The must, I think, since I'm on the team, we never change the must, because actually, if you have like as a customers, if you have like one must, you want to keep the must.
Yeah.
And if you have to change the must every year again, because it's changing the performance, that's why for us it's important that we're going to keep the performance of the must every year the same. We're not going to change anything. Even the team is using Production Master. That's why, since I'm on the team, we never touch the must.
No. Good. Which must do you use, Adam?
Platinum.
Platinum. Yeah. You're testing new must there as well? A little bit?
I think we've got some different things we're working on.
Nice. You cannot say too much, eh? No,
Next
but
question.
I think that durability, when you buy a
this
must,
is like
you want
the
it
most
to be durable. And if
You don't want to go on the water and be already afraid, hopefully it's not going to break.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'll stay a little bit closer to the shore.
That should be the first
Yeah.
thing to concern about when you design a must. The must are strong. That's good. All right. Let's go for the last question, because the questions keep on coming in. I see Adam is still fresh, but he is eager to go surfing.
The waves are pumping, you can hear them already.
Do we hear them in the background? No, not yet. Good. Last question is from Pieter van der Zande. Do you think there will be windsurfing sails made on a third surface, like North Sails are doing for big yacht sails, pre-programmed to assume the sail's flying shape?
Can you repeat it again?
Do you think there will be windsurfing sails made on a 3D surface?
I think it will come.
L. He's talking about the 3DL.
Yeah.
But we had some wave cells. We had some wave cells in that technology that we were testing.
Oh yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But not soon. All right. I think that was it, guys, with all the questions. Thank you, Adam. What's your plan for today?
I'm going to try and run straight to the beach for a surf right after this.
So ride some waves for us.
Ride some waves.
Yeah.
It's dark. Tomorrow we will have some waves here in the bay, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be alright.
It's never disappointing. Always good. Well, Adam, enjoy your day. thank you so much for passing by and taking the time to answer all our questions. There was a lot of interest today, especially in the harnesses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope to see you next time, Adam, and like I said, enjoy your day. Yeah.
There you go.
Now the most important, the quiz.
The quiz.
The quiz, because you guys are able to win a new Power XT.
How?
You just have to answer the question. What's the question? When Kai Hopf, the sail designer, built his first windsurfing sail. So if you know the answer, put a comment on the Facebook page Duotone Windsurfing International. And tomorrow we're gonna announce the winner, and then maybe you're gonna have already your new Power XT in the hand. Enjoy it the next time, and you don't have to sit on the ground, on the grass, being wet. Just
Click, 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 click. Sailing. Oh, I need a little bit more downhill. In the water. Click. A little bit more. A little bit less.
That's the good thing here.
It's amazing.
I don't have to go to the beach, disconnect the board with the sail. I just do it on the water. It's so much
amazing.
easier.
We are all convinced. It's
Yeah.
a good product. And you can win one. But for now, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. It was great to see so many questions pouring in. We will be here next week. We will have a couple of new guests, which will be Raul Joa and
Daniel Eberle from Fanatic. So we're gonna have one guy from Duotone Windsurfing and one guy from Fanatic. So one guy from sail part and one from the from board.
yeah. So already start thinking about your questions. There's going to be a lot of knowledge next week online to share with you everything there know. And for now, enjoy your week, enjoy your evening, and thanks for watching. Ciao, ciao.